feel. It's really amazing.
Only one team in their debut race in the history of the sport have been able to get pole position and then go on to win.
This is the story of Brawn GP.
Right, it's time for another streaming service. I don't think you should call it TV, isn't it? Because it's not exactly TV. It's time for another recommendation from yours truly. And this time it's a F1 related series. Now, of course, everyone knows about Drive to Survive. Even people have lived under a rock for the last 5 or so years. It's the, of course, it's the hit show on Netflix that has, as a result, got F1, it's meant that F1's finally cracked America after, 60, 70 odd years. Which is kind of fitting, I guess, that we're doing this on the eve of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I know there's been a lot of talk about manhole covers and, racing at, in the middle of winter at 2 a.m. But look, it's, I'm as a long-time F1 fan, I'm personally grateful that F1 had, I don't care about the criticism. If they're going to have 10 races in the US, 10 F1 races in the US, bring it on. It's taken like 70 odd years for F1 to crack the US, and the fact that it's done it now, it's great. So through Drive to Survive. But digressing, of course, on the back of Drive to Survive success, we've got this new documentary about the Brawn F1 team. Now, of course, if a bit of background, which may very well spoil this, so you might want to shut your eyes for a couple of seconds. Brawn, of course, won. Brawn was the sort of like the shell of the second Honda team, because they had Honda, of course, racing in the 60s, the modern day Honda F1 team that raced in the early 2000s, early to late, the first decade of the 2000s, I should say. Of course, Honda pulled out in December 2000, only 3 months before the new 2009 season. And of course, Ross Brawn, who was then the boss of Honda, took over effectively bought the F1 team from Honda in a management buyout for a nominal £1, which, by the way, will be referenced in this show a lot. And of course, they went on, to shock the world and, had the fastest car for much of the season. And Jenson Button won the World Championship and Brawn won the Constructors. The first, probably only team to ever do that in their debut season. And of course, Jenson Button is probably my favorite F1 driver of all time because I sort of grew up with him and so it was certainly watching Brawn was, had been looking forward to this, and, it brings back a lot of fond memories. And and look, so of course, this idea was sort of brought up by none other than John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, who few people, people don't actually realize he's a huge petrol head, and he was actually the brain. He wanted to show the Brawn story, and got the money from. They got the show up, and it's like, to be fair, Keanu Reeves does a really good job as a narrator, in my opinion. He doesn't really feel like he has to be part of the story, but what he offers is just trying to explain it, to the viewer who's not familiar with the findings of F1, and it's incredible how many people he's managed to interview. He got Bernie Ecclestone, he got Luca Di Montezemolo, got Nick Fry, Ross Brawn, and of course Christian Horner, who really is a publicity whore, and of course Jenson Button, Ruben Barrichello, and Felipe Massa. I guess couldn't quite get mixed, mostly because he's long passed away now. But look, it was Keanu Reeves doesn't want, Keanu Reeves is just there, but you can feel his presence, and I guess it's great to see the story, because it is a David versus Goliath story. I think the only other story we could think of in the last 25 years or so that comes close to this is Leicester City winning the Premier League in 2016. And it is just true, think of it, this, it's crazy to think this, Brawn Jenson Button winning or doing all this was is now 14 years ago as we make this video. So yeah, look, I think, look, obviously the comparison is going to be with Drive to Survive, because everyone knows what Drive to Survive is. But I think if you're an older F1 fan who has been into F1 well before Drive to Survive, I think you're going to find Brawn. This Brawn is going to be more your cup of tea, because I think in recent times you've kind of get a feeling Drive to Survive has really tried to manufacture drama out of absolutely nothing. And, it's a bit more fluff, whereas this one feels really more like, for the purists. I don't think this is necessarily going to appeal to someone who's watched Drive to Survive and gone in F1 because of Drive to Survive. I think there's a lot more technical stuff. There's a lot more elements. It certainly harks back to a different era of F1, which it is crazy to think, because that different era of F1 was only 10, 15 years ago. That, the Bernie Ecclestone era. So, but yeah, definitely worth a watch if you really need something to watch. Because there's some really awesome characters in there. Jenson Button, Rubens Barrichello, they're probably two of the most popular drivers ever to race in F1. I guess, who were we missing? Yeah, it's a pity Sebastian Vettel didn't feature in this, look, because he was sort of in the title race. He was definitely in the title race. They did feature montages from 2009. So whether Sebastian Vettel didn't give his consent didn't want to be interviewed, which is a bit weird, because he's in this day of age in retirement, he's become one of the more open vocal people. Or maybe Keanu Reeves decided maybe Sebastian Vettel wasn't really relevant because the whole focus was on Brawn. So yeah, so that is Brawn. That is my recommendation. It is on Disney Plus. Internationally, and Hulu in the United States. So yeah, definitely give it a watch. Certainly if you're an F1 fan, long time, or gone to the sport through Drive to Survive. So there you go. If you like this video, again, if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.